It's time for the official Fantasy and Tabletop Holiday Gift Guide.
Where does it get those wonderful toys?
Hey, holiday shopping officially kicks off this week, and I'm sure a lot of folks are turning to Google and YouTube to figure out what to buy that tabletop or fantasy fan in their life. Well, the character sheet is here to help with a few common fan segments and the perfect gift to get them. And if you want more ideas, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, because we're always talking about the latest and greatest in tabletop and fantasy news. And with that, let's get to some gift shopping.
Clear your calendars, chug that coffee, and wake the kids.
For the D&D fan, the Planescaped box set is probably the best Dungeons & Dragons product published by Wizards of the Coast this year. This new set brings back one of D&D's best settings and promises to be a featured setting as Wizards expands its multiverse over the next few years. The box set contains a bestiary, a campaign setting guide, and an adventure, which is basically everything you need to really dive into Planescape and enjoy it.
Producer Pete here, and my pick for the D&D fan is the amazing Flea Mortals book from MCDM. This 5e supplement brings some of the joy of D&D 4th edition combat to 5th edition, along with some truly amazing new monsters to throw at your party. It's one of the best 5e based books ever made, and would be an incredibly welcome addition to any D&D fan's bookshelf.
For the tabletop RPG fan, we've covered a ton of D&D and Pathfinder on this channel, but one of my favorite games that came out in 2023 is Dragonbane, an English translation of a popular Swedish RPG. While the game has some similarities to other D20 systems, it has a more flexible rule set and a check system that's based off of low rolls instead of high rolls. Plus, anthropomorphic ducks are a playable ancestry in the game. Love it!
For my pick, I had to go with Pathfinder 2e Remastered Player Core. The brand new version of the iconic Pathfinder TTRPG has streamlined some rules like ability scores, polished up its combat, and even completely rebalanced some weaker classes like the Witch. So if you have a Pathfinder fan in your life, this book is a must-own.
For the Eurogamer, as a banker, I am contractually obligated to talk about Hegemony, a new asymmetric board game about class wars. And yes, I actually said that word right, it's just pronounced really freaking weird. Players can choose between the working class, the middle class, the capitalists, and the state itself, each of which have their own separate goals and are governed by a shared set of policies. Players have to maneuver to change policies to best benefit their class to move their way to victory. It's a bit of a heavy game, but if you like socioeconomics like I do, or just want to lead a class uprising, Hegemony is the game to do it.
My Eurogamer pick sounds like a fast food chain, but it turns out that The White Castle is actually a fantastic worker placement game set in feudal Japan, where you fight for prestige and power in the court of the daimyo. Send out your workers to defend the realm, or have them stay home and tend the imperial gardens or curry favor at the court. The components are fantastic, the gameplay is fun and challenging, and it's very easy to see why it's one of 2023's hottest board games.
For the Wargamer, folks looking to dip their toe into tabletop warfare should check out the excellent Warhammer Kill Team, a more streamlined version of the popular tabletop miniatures game. Instead of building a full army that will cost you hundreds of dollars, you'll build a small strike team battling over specific objectives. Kill Team is great because you only need a handful of minis to play, but a lot of the rules and the minis themselves cross over into Warhammer 40k for when you inevitably bite the bullet and start playing that.
If you want something a bit heftier, Games Workshop has just revealed this year's Holiday Army boxes for Age of Sigmar and 40k. These boxes are fantastic value, providing a complete army in a box at a big discount. So if there's a 40k player in your life, you can get them started with new Space Marines, Orcs, World Eaters, and more. Or for those fantasy fans, Age of Sigmar has their own amazing box sets featuring undead armies, star-worshipping reptiles, and more.
For the fantasy fanatic, other than Winds of Winter, fantasy fans have been waiting almost as long for The Doors of Stone by Patrick Rothfuss. That book isn't out and probably won't come out anytime soon, but Rothfuss does have a new novella called The Narrow Road Between Desires, which is focused on the popular supporting Fae character Bast. This is probably going to be one of the hotter fantasy books of the year, so most fans will appreciate it. Plus, it'll give people something to do while they wait forever for The Doors of Stone.
My suggestion for the fantasy fanatic in your life is the new Stormlight Archives 4-book box set. Get them caught up with the amazing Stormlight Archives series from fantasy author Brandon Sanderson just in time for the new Stormlight RPG to come out next year. Each of these books in the series is a modern fantasy classic, and getting all 4 of them in one box set for a great price is a gift that will keep on giving.
For the RPG gamer, the video game kind. We're assuming that a lot of fans have the big RPGs of the year, but our dark horse video game RPG of the year is actually Octopath Traveler 2, which is available for the PlayStation, Switch, and PC. The retro graphics are gorgeous to look at, the storylines are excellent, and we love the combat system. And you don't need to know anything about Octopath Traveler 1. This is one of our favorite games of 2023, and one of the few RPGs that probably most players haven't played yet.
Now, if you want something a little off the beaten path, get the RPG gamer in your life the amazing Sea of Stars. Available on every platform, this indie game has been getting phenomenal reviews and is being called the spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger, one of the best RPGs of all time. With beautiful retro graphics, battles that modernize that classic semi-real-time Chrono Trigger combat, and a fantastic story, it's a game that will tug at the heartstrings of every RPG fan.
For the crafty one. If you know someone who likes to paint their miniatures, we highly recommend the Pro Acryl base set of Monument paints. This is some of the smoothest and most vibrant paints we've ever used, and honestly, we think it's better than most of the standard paints out there. You know, the Vallejos and the Army painters and the Citadel paints. Honestly, this stuff is better than all of that. Give this to a painter and be prepared for them to complain to you that they'll never want to go back to what they're using now.
My pick for your crafty friends and family out there is the Elegoo Mars 3 Pro Resin 3D printer. Elegoo is one of the biggest names in 3D printing, and the Mars 3 Pro is easy to use, capable of incredibly detailed 4K printing, and is big enough to print complete large models in a single build. And best of all, it's on a serious markdown for the holidays right now at over 50% off on Elegoo's own site.
For the card collector. Instead of a specific card product, I'm recommending Dragon Shield card sleeves. A card fanatic can never have too many card sleeves, and Dragon Shield sleeves are inexpensive but high quality, with the ability to shuffle effortlessly, or at least with a lot less effort. I assume you have to put a little bit of effort into shuffling.
I'm picking the amazing one-piece card game for this category, specifically the 3 Captains Ultra deck, which gives brand new players a powerful, fully formed deck featuring 3 captains from One Piece's iconic Worst Generation to jump right into the CCG. The One Piece card game has started outselling Pokemon, Magic, and even Yu-Gi-Oh!, so there is no better time to jump into the game, and the 3 Captains Ultra deck is your best way to do it.
And finally, for the critter. One of our favorite Critical Role products of all time is the Chronicles of Exandria art books, which showcase many of the amazing pieces of fan art made by critters over the year. In fact, the Tale of Vox Machina books, yes, that's right, there are 2 of them, recently went back into print, and they encapsulate critter fandom at its finest. I highly recommend hunting one or both of them down, and probably buy 2 copies, one for your friend and one for you.
And my final pick has to be the Critical Role statues from Sideshow. These wildly detailed statues of the Vox Machina crew are almost all on waitlists already, so you want to act fast to have a chance to get yours to ship for the holidays. But even if it winds up being a little after the holidays, just show them a picture of these ridiculously amazing sculpts, and I guarantee you the critter in your life will be more than happy to wait a week or 2.
So, those were our gift suggestions. If you have something that you'd like to share, be sure to put it in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.